I'm Hina Khan, and I am a coach and psychotherapist, and I really help people with their inner game so they can live a life that they love. That's Janette. Janette and I met in Portland when we were both doing a strategic intervention course with Magali and Mark Pasha, and they're from the Tony Robbins lineage there. So it's great to see you, Janette. Start by telling us, you've got a great book that's coming out. So why don't you tell us about that?
The book is From Dream to Reality, Navigating the Path to Your Life Purpose. And you know, Hina, when we met, the whole impetus for us is trying to help people get on the right path. And so we have different niches and we have different areas that we try to help people with. Mine is trying to help people find their place of purpose. If I can get people to their place of purpose, a lot of things will start coming into focus for them. You're on assignment here. And I think too many of us are living as if we're just on the planet to collect a paycheck and pay bills. And there's so much more to why we're here. And if you're out of that spot, it makes it really hard to live a authentic and full life, because you're just kind of spinning. I call it swinging at piñatas. You're just kind of going through life, just kind of swinging at piñatas. So we want people in their place of purpose.
So what I want to know is, when it comes to your purpose and finding your purpose, where does gratitude fit into that?
Let's break down what we're talking about when we say gratitude. It's being able to be in a place of thankfulness in all things, not necessarily for everything. I'm not grateful when I went through cancer. I wasn't grateful that I had cancer. I found in that space things that I could still be grateful for. I was grateful for having the types of doctors that really took their time how to work with me and how to give me the best treatment possible. I was thankful for being able to manage the pain. I was thankful for not having to have chemo. I was thankful for several things. And that attitude really helped in my healing. And it's scientifically shown to help in healing, because everything has energy. Everything has energy. Yeah. This bottle has energy. You have energy. Everything has an energy about it. So when you're in a space of gratitude, which is what? Showing appreciation, being thankful. Thanks for the love, guys. For being thankful, finding appreciation, understanding that there's stuff greater than yourself that you should pay attention to, all in around you. Then your heart health increases, your well-being increases, your ability to perform increases, you're able to sleep better, you have better relationships, your mental health is better. It's even linked scientifically to your immune system having a boost. So gratitude has a huge, huge part to play in your purpose, because when you're living in this kind of box of, I'm just kind of here, and I don't really matter. And people get there for a lot of reasons. There are some things that happen to people that can bury you down under this block of a disconnect, right? A disconnect from self and a disconnect from really understanding that you are here on purpose. Then all of those things start it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Nothing's happening. I must not be worth it. I can't generate everything I try to touch, it doesn't seem to work. I must not be good enough. Well, maybe you're just taking your things and pointing them in the wrong, you know what I'm saying? So you have a purpose. You're born with it. We just got to help you bring it out. And so if you're grateful, you can clear away the negative self-talk, the stuff that people have told you that you bought into, the things that you started believing about you because maybe you just weren't in the right place at the right time, or you were going after the wrong thing with the wrong tools. All of that stuff, it kills your sense of gratitude. But if you can...
Yeah, and it can really kill your spirit too. I mean, I think that is so true. And I think there's also a difference. Tell me if you agree with this. And if anybody wants to jump in, we're talking about gratitude. Feel free to jump into the conversation. But I think that, when you talked about how it affects our vibration and our energy, I think that's the difference between feeling grateful and having a gratitude practice. I think when you have a gratitude practice where you are consciously implementing gratitude into your daily routine, I think you rewire your brain. You set a whole different tone, a whole nother energy goes out. But let's face it, as you said, there are times when it's hard to feel grateful. There are times when, you know, your boyfriend left, the bills are piling up and your cat is dying. Like, it's just a bad time. So what do you say, or how do you help people tap into gratitude when it feels like there is nothing to be grateful for?
I have an interactive thing that we can do with your people if that's okay with you, and if they're okay, cool. So let me tell you first about February of, must have been last year. The worst. It was my birthday month, but I don't have any kids. So my Shih Tzu that I'd had for 14 years, that was my kid. That was my girl. She got very, very sick. It was a long, drawn out kind of back and forth to the vets, to the doctors, and that kind of a thing. We had 2 deaths in my family in that same month. It was, if you're looking for the perfect storm of reasons why you shouldn't be grateful, that was the month. It was just rough. It was just rough. I didn't want to celebrate Valentine's. I didn't want to celebrate me. I didn't want, I didn't have it. And so let me be honest and transparent and say, you still get to process out those feelings. Like, I'm not telling anybody, all that stuff happens to you and you just suck it up and put a smile on your face and go, but I'm grateful, because that's not authentic and that's not going to serve you. Yeah. You still have, you still get to process and feel what you're feeling. What we're talking about is when you recognize that's the state that you're in, still being able to pull yourself out. And so I just want to share some interactive things that I do for me, that I like to do for my clients. And it really helps you. It helps give you a little push into that direction, because let's face it, when stuff like that happens, you're going to need a little push. You're going to need a little tug. When my clients say, or I feel like I can't get in touch with that space, that gratitude space, I ask, what is the color of gratitude? If you had to give gratitude a color, what's the color for gratitude? And for me, it's purple. It's something about the royalness of the color. It's something about it. It just makes me happy. I know it's my birthstone, so I'm kind of I'm a little bit into purple. Mine was lavender. And I think lavender for me, it's an offshoot of purple, but I think because it evokes peace. For me, when I think of lavender, I think of peace, calm, tranquility. And I think when you're in a state of gratefulness, for me, it is really tapping into source, and it's tapping into that ever-present peace, which is always there. See, this is the thing. It is always there. It's just about us tapping into it. So, Pat Claiborne says red. Josie says that's turquoise. The beauty of that part of the exercise, because for me, red would send me into another place. Like, red would not be the thing for gratitude, but for him, there's somebody else said red. That's the beauty of it. Once you know that, I want you guys to hold on to that. So that now I want to ask you, what does gratitude, what would it smell like? What kind of sense would gratitude bring into the room? If you went and you bought a gratitude candle, what would that smell like? What would it do to your olfactory senses? There's some candles, there's some scents that I have that when I smell them, I get warm, especially my décolleté here, and I just did this warmth just kind of rises up from here, and I love that. I love it. It's just a warmth that permeates. Vanilla, roses, and I love what vanilla, roses. For me, I think again it's lavender. It's the smell of lavender. For me, what about for you? woodsy smells because they evoke that warmth, kind of hugging, kind of earthy, very connected. You talked about source, and you know, whatever source is for you, that connection feels like something. So I think what you find is, and I'd be curious for you guys, those of you, if you don't meditate, I really want to suggest you, because that's another exercise that takes you to a place of gratitude. Whether you can get online and find guided meditations, you can just be with yourself and do it. And it will absolutely, prayer will do it. It absolutely helps you pull all these things together. And what I'd be curious is, when you're in that state, do you see those colors? How many of you guys, when you meditate or pray, see those colors? Because that reflects back to you shifting into a state of ethereal, you connecting to the place of gratitude, you can to the greater source. That's a good indicator of that, when you start seeing those colors.
What I love, colors. What I love about what you're saying is that it makes it a little bit more tangible, and I think it makes it a little bit easier for people that struggle around meditation and struggle with feeling it. At least you can get that color in your mind. At least you can evoke those smells in your mind. And I love what Dr. Sims said. The smell for him of gratitude is chocolate chip.
I know. I just said yes.
That is awesome. Chocolate chip cookies for sure. But there is something about that, about the warmth and nurture and food and all of those things. And I feel like what I would love to do is offer, so you mentioned meditation. I think meditation is a great way to just be still. And when you choose a guided meditation, you can choose one for 5 minutes. Because sometimes people think it has to be this long endeavor, and it really doesn't. 5 minutes will do a remarkable thing, especially if you do a daily practice. And I would really encourage everybody listening, do a daily practice. And if you do one, write it in so we can all share our tips. My daily practice is to, when I wake up, I write 10 things I'm grateful for. And that, I think, sets the tone for my day. So even before I get in my head and start thinking of the day, what I need to do, I write 10 things I'm grateful for, and then I meditate for 5 minutes. And I try to evoke, and I'm going to now use the smell and the color to really evoke the feeling of gratitude. My grandmother, God bless her, she, every day when she woke up, she would say, thank you. That was the first thing that would come out of her mouth. And it would be, thank you for really another day on earth. She was grateful for that. What about you, Janette? What are some tools, gratitude
for
tools
me,
that you could share?
Starting the morning with just silence and mindfulness. I kind of do a self-check before I even move out of the bed. I kind of just do a how am I feeling? And whether I feel great, whether I feel tired, whether my toe hurts, whatever's going on, I say, you know what, thank you. This is my practice. I say, thank you, Lord, because I can feel my toe, even if it's hurting. You know, I still have it. I can feel it. And that's my little joke to myself, just to remind myself this, that no matter what the little aches and pains of life are, if you can move through them, you still have something to be thankful for. After I do that, I kind of set my tone for the day, because our mind, and the reason I was doing the exercises about what smells, what sounds, words and our experiences impact us down to the degree that we'll make a destiny decision. So if I start in the morning and what I'm feeding myself and what I'm telling myself are negative things, then those things are going to impact my thoughts. My thoughts are going to impact my emotions. It's going to impact the decisions I make. The decisions I make are going to direct my actions, and the actions that I take over and over again become my habits, and that leads to a certain destination. So I have to be very careful about what I feed myself, even the first thing in the morning. So I'm sharing that practice with you guys to say, in the morning, set your thermostat. You don't set your thermostat on 75 and expect it to be cool in the house. So what are you setting your thermostat for in the morning so that you have an expected end? It all starts with that. And then at the end of the day, I saw Dr. Sims said that he takes his clients through 8 minutes of meditation. I do this. I tell my people, if you can set your timer for a minute in the middle of the day, you would be so surprised. And there's actually apps that will do that for you. I love apps. This is one of my favorites right here. Oh, yes. I don't know if you guys can see it. It says take a break, and it's got the little lady. She's like, You can set the timer. It'll play. For me, it's beach sounds. Like, we didn't get to the sound of the exercise, right? For me, I love to hear waves crashing. If I can just go somewhere, it might even be the restroom, and just put the sound, and just like you've got your little earbuds in, just that immediately takes me into a space of gratitude and relaxation, where my shoulders are up here. I can bring them back down. I can be grateful for numerous things in my life. And you don't have to run, guys, what you're saying is you don't have to run the whole list, but just find the one thing, because that will become contagious, and you'll find yourself being grateful for the next thing, and you'll.
But I think what you said, that's really important, and we've got a few minutes left. So if anybody else wants to let us know what their routine is or what has worked for them, please type it in. We'd love to hear it. But I think what you said that was really important was the idea of habit, making it a habit, so that when you put in your earbuds and you hear those ocean crashing noise, it's like you automatically, because you've been doing it long enough and repeating it long enough, you get to that place. And I think that is key. Sometimes if you really want to make it impactful, we must do the repetition, and the consistency is key. And then it becomes part of our nervous system, and we get it on a cellular level. And then we are sending out that vibration. And that is where we're meeting people from. And people can sense it. People can feel your energy. And I think not only to be appreciative and grateful for what you have, what has manifested, but for what is to come. So maybe you don't know your purpose. Maybe you're reading the book From Dreams to Reality, and you're trying to figure out your purpose. You can still be grateful that the knowledge or the revelation of your purpose is coming. You can still be grateful that the things that you desire, that job, that work, whatever it is that you desire, that house, whatever it is, it's coming, even if you don't have it. So I would say expand your gratitude to what is here, and also what is coming, what you are bringing into your life. And sometimes gratitude walks are really nice. Take a walk. And, we're so used to looking down because we're all on our phones and stuff, and look up. Like, you look up at the sky. And it is just so remarkable to go out in nature, and just to be grateful for the trees, and to take it in. There's so much abundance in nature, and there's so much that nature can teach us about gratitude. So that is another tip: gratitude walks, and be grateful for things that are coming, that you're asking for, that you are creating. Any final tips, Janette?
I watched a great TED Talk once of a former who was juggling, and he was explaining that as he juggles and as he's speaking, there's a dual thing going on, and it's a beautiful, delicious balance between not being too much in your head so that you can still carry out this conversation, but enough focus where you're not dropping the balls. So there's an internal process, but there's also an outward focus. So I would just say for your people, definitely try to approach life in that manner, where you're internally in tune and in touch, but you're also focused outwardly, so that there's this balance between what I need to take care of internally so that I can affect change on the outside, that I can be replenished, refreshed, restored, renewed on the inside, but still be effective and purposeful in my actions. And if you will think of it as that beautiful balancing act, then when you find yourself too turned into your emotions, too focused inwardly in the negative, remember that there's always something outwardly that you can look to be grateful for, to recalibrate, start again.
Mm. Oh, I love that. I love that. Because sometimes we are just so inner focused. And so if we can expand our vision
Absolutely.
and look outside to course correct.
Bye, Hina.
Bye, guys.
You too.
Bye,
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great rest of your day.
Love y'all.
Bye.